What's up, guys? Ryan here. Been like 2 weeks. I've been away, been having fun with the family. And I came home and I was like, I'm feeling pretty generous right now. I want to give back to you guys. I've been getting a lot of questions on the Discord, which if you haven't joined, by the way, what are you even doing with your life? Honestly, though. Join the Discord. It's free. We're having tons of people chat about their lead gen agencies, getting the help that they need, getting answers to their questions. My team and myself are just there to help you guys grow, and we're just having a lot of fun doing it. I really enjoy making these videos. I really enjoy talking to you guys and helping you run your agencies so that you can see success like we've seen. That's given us flexibility and helped us kind of land a dream job where I get to work from home here in my little home office and spend time with my family. So today I'm going to go over start to finish, how to get a client, how to generate leads, how to deliver the leads, and how to keep the client. I'm going to go over every single step of how this process works because I feel like some people still aren't fully getting it. I'm going to go over a single funnel that spits out leads to multiple clients. I'm actually going to use a real brand that we built that didn't end up working out for us, but we did spend $100,000 on that brand. So I can show you the ads, I can show you that it got leads, and I can show you how we sent those to our clients. And then you can go ahead and do the same thing. I hope this video is helpful, and I hope it helps you understand how our structure of our business works, how we generate leads and deliver them to multiple different clients with one single funnel or, very few funnels. And then we have these clients that are purchasing leads off us. There's no contracts, there's no retainers. They just buy leads in batches and we keep delivering. And our goal is to always get to the point where pretty much every single week we send them an invoice. They pay for the next week's leads up front, and then we deliver those leads at whatever rate that they tell us to. So that's what I'm going to show you guys today. And we're going to jump onto the computer. This is a complete guide and mini course for creating your own lead generation agency. Let's jump onto the computer and let's see how we do. All right, guys. So what I'm going to start off with here is a cold email template because I'm going to talk first about how to get a client. So I have talked about this in other videos. There's a sales video on my channel. So if you haven't watched that, that's a bit more of an in-depth look at how I get my clients. As I said in the past, I do cold email, I do Facebook ads, I do TikTok ads, and I want to differentiate quick between how I choose my strategy. This might be anecdotal, but this is what I found. If I'm going after a national, giant, very specific client in a somewhat specific niche. So for example, let's say I want to go into life insurance. This is actually a really good example. If I want to go into life insurance, if I want to target individual agents in individual states, then I'm going to want to run Facebook ads because I can cast this wide net and I can get a bunch of those individual agents to respond to my ad, which I've done. I think we had 50 different life insurance clients at one point or another that we got from Facebook ads. Okay, so if I want to get some smaller clients, maybe you're starting out, you want to work with individual agents, that's great. But if I wanted to get the CEO of, a massive, farmers insurance or whatever they have in the US, that's when I would send a cold email because I would try and pinpoint exactly who I want to send this email to. So this is just one example. Both of these emails here have gotten us clients that have made us hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they're nothing that special. You always kind of have to be adapting because this email that worked for me a year ago or even 6 months ago, this worked 6 months ago. It might not work now. So you have to get creative. You have to, carve your own path or whatever the saying is. But this email basically talks about how, hey, you know what? We generate a lot of leads. Here's our brand, and the brand that we're going to be using for this example is Richard Recommends. It's a brand that we created, and as I said, that didn't really end up working for us just because the leads were so specific and so it was just like finding a diamond in the rough. We did onboard a few clients. They kind of broke even. It just didn't really work out, which is all part of the game. That's happened to us many times. We've, failed more than we've succeeded, but it only takes a few hits to be successful. It's kind of like penny stocks. You might lose out on 7 out of 10, but if you hit 3 of them, man, it's good. Especially because our clients pay up front. So this didn't cost any of our own money to run this brand. So I send this email. This is in the Discord. Again, if you're not in the Discord, cheesed. What are you doing? So we've got our brand here. I like to send it to them. This website is for Richard Recommends. It looks very professional, looks really good, looks like a lead gen company. So the client can check this out, and you can check this out yourself because we don't use it anymore. So go ahead and do whatever you want. We talk about, why sell your life insurance policy. By the way, Richard Recommends is people that want to sell their life insurance policy. This is for the life settlement industry. We thought it was a really cool industry because we had never heard of it before and nobody was doing it. Basically, we find people who want to sell their policy and get paid out now rather than when they die. Kind of dark and weird, but imagine, you're 65 and maybe you have a health diagnosis that isn't good and you have $1 million life insurance policy. One of these companies will pay you $800,000 so you can use the money now to live out your, final years. Again, kind of like a sad niche to be in. But, that person now, instead of waiting till they die and not getting the money, or obviously it's going to go to their family. But if your family's in a good spot, maybe you want to get the money now so you can go and live it up. Or maybe you're just like 75 and you don't want to pay like $1,000 a month for your life insurance policy. You can actually sell it to these companies that will, again, give you a lump sum, some percentage of the eventual payout so that you can use it now. Weird industry. It didn't work out for us, but we have this great example for you guys to check out and mess around with. So anyways, I showed them the website. We'll talk about the assessment in a bit. And basically I'll send this out to, in this case, because this niche is so specific, there's no way I'm going to be able to target these people properly on Facebook. I just went on LinkedIn. I had my lead gen guy go and scrape me a bunch of emails and data. And I sent this email out. I closed, 2 of the largest life settlement companies in the US just with this email and with the sales script that I'm going to show you. So actually, I think it was script number 2, which this is like not even a good sales script, and it did work for this. So, I mean, maybe because this niche is so unique, these people aren't being hit up as much as like solar or life insurance people would be. Because you could imagine if you're in solar, there's a lot of lead gen people in solar. They're getting emails all the time about, being sold to, whereas this guy gets as many emails and I was able to close them. So boom, I've got my sales script. They respond. Sure. I send them a link. Let's jump on a call. And I actually do most of my calls just over the phone. I don't even do Zoom because I don't know, it's just old school. But here's the script that I use. I've also put this in the Discord. Let's talk about this. So I like to ask a lot of questions, start off with some chit chat. Obviously, what's up? Where are you located? What do you do for fun? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I like hiking too. Haha, we're friends now. I like to ask them what made them get on a call today. So what made you respond to my annoying email? Why do you want to get on a call? Well, I really need leads for my company. Awesome. So what experience do you have purchasing leads? Have you bought leads before? What happened? Oh, they really sucked last time. It just didn't work out. Okay. So you get to the client talking about maybe their past experience, or maybe they don't have experience buying leads at all. That's totally fine. I ask them, what experience do you have working digital leads? Because this is a really important question to set expectations. Because if a client has never worked a Facebook or Google lead, you have to really set the expectation that this lead they're going to get is kind of going to be like a cold lead, but it's the warmest of the cold leads. Because if there's working referrals, these leads are not going to be the same as a referral. So I like to know that. And then so I kind of reiterate the response to them. It's like, okay, so you purchased leads before, but you're frustrated with the quality. That lead salesperson didn't, they gave you bad leads. I totally get that. Let me tell you a little bit of what we do and why we're different than those other people you've worked with, right? So I go into my spiel. I try to keep it as short as possible, but I talk about, we've been doing lead gen for 6 years. We generate leads basically anywhere we can get them. We send these leads through a funnel, and we ask 10 to 12 questions to ensure that the lead is qualified for your specific criteria. I like to tell them that we're going to cater the lead towards what they're looking for, which we do through Lead Prosper, which I'll talk about in a bit. But I like to tell the client that we're going to cater to them, but really the clients are all more similar than they think they are. So you can pretty much have one funnel that's going to spit out to all of them. Hopefully that makes sense. And I also say that we text message verify each lead to ensure they're a real human. If you're interested in this, I'm going to have Ryan B, the other Ryan, here at Camby at Lead. Well, Camby Marketing is our marketing company. Leadbase is the community. I'm going to have him make a video on the text verification side of things. I talk about how we replace leads. No questions asked. If you say the lead isn't qualified, we just replace it. I've never had an issue where someone's like, give me back all my money for all these leads. It never happened. Maybe once. Very rare. I tell them we can deliver the leads at any rate they prefer, 1 per day, 5 per day, 20 per day. I had a question about this in Discord. That's basically what I asked them. If they want 1 lead per day, I do tell them the minimum lead amount is 50, but sometimes I have leeway. If they want to do 1 per day for 30 days, we'll do a minimum order of 30. If they want to do 5 per day, I say we'll do 50 leads, deliver them 5 per day for 10 days. Okay, so this is me just asking questions about how many they can handle. Yeah, if they say, let's get started, again, I say, awesome, I'll send you an invoice for 50 leads. I say we can get started in X amount of days. Once a funnel is really up and running for me, I can get people started in 24 hours because I just plug their information in the Lead Prosper. I tell Lead Prosper how many leads I want them to get, and then I up my budgets a little bit to try and estimate how many leads I need to send. I do like to tell them, maybe you'll get 3 leads one day and 7 leads the next day. It's never going to be perfectly 5. Sometimes you can kind of get it perfect, but most people don't really care. I found they just kind of want to just try this out. And if it works out, I'm almost never had a client that when it works out, they're not like, give me as many leads as you can get. Let's scale this thing. So at that point, you just pump as many leads as you can to them. After the call, I tell them, I don't really use this anymore, but this might be something really useful for you guys, is this onboarding document. I really loved using this at the start. It's this huge document. I got this from Dan Wardrop, by the way. Shout out to Dan and Flexible, like 5 or 6 years ago when I took his course. This was really helpful for me. I would send it to my clients. It makes you look super legit, like you obviously really care about the type of lead that they're looking for. You just ask all these questions like, what are the benefits of your product? How does it make the client feel knowing the product? What are the features of the product? What's the objective to them? What's the offer? What offers have worked for them? Do they have any endorsements? Like all these different questions that you can use with your clients. So I like to send that to them. I'm going to be building an FAQ based on what people are asking and kind of questions that I can think of. The biggest thing is, can you work with my lead criteria? Can you give us these states? Can you give us these questions? And usually I just say yes. If they're getting way too narrow and specific, I tell them, hey, we can totally target anywhere. The most narrow that we like to go in our company is statewide. So if they want to go statewide, that's fine. I wouldn't go city specific just for me because I want to go for volume. But I tell them, hey, the more narrow we get, the more it's going to cost on my end and the more it might cost on your end. And I just say, hey, I'm happy to work with you on that though. We can keep communicating about it and make sure that it works out for both of us. Like I tell them, I'm not here to sell you one order of leads. Like that's a waste of my time. I'm here to create a partnership with you where you just buy leads every single week. You're making money and I'm making money. I like to end off with that. And this is what I send after the call. You can read this after. It's basically saying just a recap of the call. We'll send you this many leads. We replace any bad leads. Here's an example of a lead. And we need this information to get started. And then I go ahead and actually book them in 2 days later for a follow-up call. I just send it to them same time, 2 days later. And if that doesn't work for them, that's fine. But that just gets them on the hook for the next call. They're thinking about the purchase. A lot of times they'll just say, send me the link. I'm ready to go. So this is the sales script. That's the follow-up. So you've closed your client. We're going to send them this onboarding document again, like I said. But after that, we need to get them ready to send leads to. So the first thing I do is I load them into Lead Prosper. I like to use Lead Prosper alongside of a Google Sheet. So I'll actually have a Google Sheet with their name on it. It'll be shared with them. It'll have all their lead criteria on there. Wonder if I can have an example of that. I don't think I can share you guys an example just for client confidentiality stuff, but basically it's, again, just Google Sheet, first name, last name, email, phone number, how much insurance do you need? Have you had insurance before? All the questions you're going to ask in your quiz, right? And I plug them then into Lead Prosper. So all of my leads from my single funnel are going to be going into this Lead Prosper. Okay, so let's say I generate 50 leads in a day. They're going to go into here and I'm going to have all my clients here. I just have 2 examples of a client. And so I could add a new client, and this is what a client looks like in Lead Prosper. This would be, let me see here, additional price, campaign marketing. See, I'm kind of the dum-dum here, and the other Ryan is good at this tech stuff. But essentially, what I would have is filters here. So I could have a filter for day and hour parting. I could send leads to them. Say they wanted leads from 9 to 5. I could go age. Age is greater than, say they want people over the age of 60, right? So now Camby is only going to get people over 60. And then I'm going to go, I think I asked state on here. Okay, so state, I would gonna go, let's say, we can't take people from California. Okay, so block matches, and then in my quiz, I have California as an option when they do the drop down. California. Okay, so now they're not gonna get any people from California. So you can see how, maybe you got someone who will take leads from 4 states. You would allow leads from those 4 states. And this is how you can do your filtering. And this way, what you can hopefully do is if you have a bunch of, say you had agents all over the place, you can try and work on building those agents up so that you have this really broad area to target, and then Lead Prosper can do the sorting for you rather than having like 50 campaigns on Facebook ads. So hopefully that's making sense. And I'll show you an example of this. So this is Richard Recommends. We spent like 100K here and made like no money, which is fine. We did lose money. Let's see here. So these leads are pretty expensive. I think we sold them for like $125 or something like that. And I don't even know if this is fully accurate. This might be in Canadian. We sold that for US. When I say we didn't make any money, it's because we had to replace so many leads because these leads are so specific. This is what I mean by having one funnel that runs kind of everything for you. So I have all these ad sets, obviously, but all of these ads at the final ad here are running through one single quiz for the most part. So I have a life insurance targeting, long ad, direct, video ads, dynamic. Okay. So are you 65 and considering letting your life insurance policy lapse? So that's a big tagline for what's kind of like people who have this super expensive life insurance policy. They're like, I'm just going to let it go. I'm just going to let it lapse. I'm not going to pay it anymore. Hey, consider this. You could actually sell that to a company and get a cash payout. that they'll basically take that settlement and they'll bet on when you're going to die so that they can take the money. Again, morbid and weird. But it actually does help a lot of people out, I think. Like there's people with illnesses or people just want to have not had any use for the life insurance policy that can get some money out of it. So we did this spokesperson video. It's a bit old school compared to what we do now. Sell your policy for cash, blah, blah, blah. We had this like pretty long video. It shows our quiz, how they can go through the quiz. Maybe I'll share an example of this for you guys. I will throw it here for now. I'll figure out a place for it later. I guess you guys don't really need to see that. You've seen my other video ads. But anyways, I have dynamic creative here. I've got a 2-minute video and a 1-minute 36-second video. I've got these 2 ads. I think this is me like, eventually I figured out this was the best ad after testing a bunch of stuff, a bunch of different headlines. I used an example of a client that had a guy named James, sold his policy for $278,000. And these are just different headlines I rotated through. And this one I was actually sending directly to our website because that is the only time this has ever worked the best for me. I never send leads to the actual website. I send them to a landing page. For whatever reason, it was actually working quite well for life settlement. But instead of showing, oh yeah, I guess I can show you right here because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Yeah, calculator, same thing. From the ad, let me just back up here. From the ad, we have all these different maybe ad sets. We're testing things. We're testing different ads. We're trying to narrow down our creative to what's working the best. And all those ads are going to the same quiz because the quiz is going to sort for us the different criteria that our clients want. It's going to send that lead once they become a lead to Lead Prosper, and the client's going to get the lead if it qualifies for their criteria. Okay, so I don't need to have a bunch of different, I'm targeting Tennessee, I'm targeting Texas, I'm targeting people over 60, I'm targeting people under 60, all these different campaigns, and they're just cannibalizing each other, right? I'm going to target everybody, hopefully, and then I'm going to narrow down the leads inside of Lead Prosper. There's one caveat. It's if you do have one agent in Tennessee and one in Texas, there is a case for running a Tennessee specific campaign and a Texas specific campaign because you might be able to get a cheaper cost per lead if you're calling out that state. But ideally, you're going to have a poop ton of clients all across the US that can take any lead, and you can run a very broad campaign. That just makes your life easier. That's how you're going to make a lot of money. That's how we made our money. Okay. So they go from this ad, they click on it, they go to the assessment. Okay. So they're going to go through our Leads Hook quiz. Again, I'm a big fan of Leads Hook. I mean, this is basically our website as a landing page. It's great. There's not that many places they can really go here. So we try and keep them on the quiz. Do you own a life insurance policy? That's important for if you're going to sell it. What's your gender? What is your age? I think we needed people like over 65 in this. What's your current health status? Healthy, moderate. So this is important for, if they're healthy at 65, they could live another 30 years and their policy is probably not going to be worth very much because the company that's purchasing it is going to have to pay the premiums until they die and then try and make a profit on that. Again, for the 5th time, pretty weird industry. Let's just say I had a terminal health diagnosis. I've got 2 years to live. I need that cash so I can go on the sickest vacation ever, buy a boat type of policy. What's the death benefit of your, so you're insured for $500,000. Do you live in the US? This is going to automatically redirect. I'm going to have to blank out this client. Frick. So this is redirecting to a landing page where we collect a little bit more info. So it's like kind of a 2-step quiz to landing page. You can just collect their information right inside the quiz. That seems to be working better. I'm basically using that 100% of the time now, but this is just what we did at the time. I just don't even care if you see my client. Who cares? It's not like I'm working with them anymore. Yeah, so then they'd go through this, they fill this out, boom, get my cash offer. They're now a lead, and they're going to go into, it didn't even work because it's not set up anymore, but they would go into Lead Prosper. They would go into my leads area and they'd be sent to the client. And once they go through Lead Prosper, I would usually send them to the Google Sheet and to the client CRM. You could also do stuff and you're ignore duplicates that they've already been sent and all that good stuff. Yeah, now that's a lead to the client. So they've gotten one lead now. It's going to be on their Google Sheet and in their CRM. And I'm going to, again, send these. Maybe I want to cap leads volume. So maybe I want to cap them at 3 per day because that's what they wanted. Maybe it's 21 per week. You could do caps on certain days. I want leads on a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which would be freaking pain in the ass. But you can do it with Lead Prosper because it's pretty sweet. I think this is 25 cents per lead. And then, that's how you deliver your order. And then what I like to do is I've got the Google Sheet, which is kind of like the midway point that both myself and the client can look at. I like to say, give them a notes tab on the Google Sheet and tell me about every single lead on here, how'd it go? This one closed, this one's fake and, didn't qualify. This one put in false information. This one was good, but they weren't interested. This blah, blah, blah. Get them to tell you all the different notes, replace any leads that they say are fake or bad or not qualified, and just be super lenient with them because that's going to help you, develop rapport with them. They've probably been screwed before by other lead gen companies. You guys like my sticker? Kevin. And that's how you're going to onboard a client. That's start to finish how I run my campaigns. You really just want to over deliver with these clients. As I said before, replace leads, be super communicative with them, set up a follow-up call after the first order and go over that order with them so that you can ensure them that you're working closely to get them the leads that they need. All right, guys, and that's basically it. Just to recap again, my goal with lead generation, and this might not be your goal right off the bat, but I want to find a big whale of a client who can take as many leads as I can give them. So I'm always kind of looking for national or larger clients that can work in multiple states, that can take a lot of volume. And that way I can have this one big funnel that maybe I have 3 big time clients. They can take leads across the US. I can run with one big wide open funnel on Google and Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and try and Reddit ads now. We'll see how that goes. But I can send all the leads through that one funnel and then I can spit them out and I can just leave that running, which now that's what we do. Like we have campaigns that just run and we scale them every day. I don't really pay too much attention. Clients are happy now. They don't even want to talk to me. They just order leads and it's going like clockwork, making good money for us. So hopefully this was helpful. This is kind of just me wanting to, again, give you guys like a mini course on how this works. I know there are so many specifics to all the things that I talked about today, but hopefully this gives you an idea of how the structure of our business works. So I'm losing my voice. I only got about a half an hour in me before I start to sound voice cracks. So I'll talk to you guys in the next video and hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave them below and join the freaking Discord. I'm out.